Okay, so it has been a while since I've uploaded anything, as I've been on holiday for the past 2 weeks or so. So I never really got the chance to make anything. I didn't even have my mic, so even if I did want to, I didn't really have the opportunity. And even the pre-recorded content, I didn't really get the chance to edit those either. But without further ado, we're gonna be doing a top 10 anime list of the spring 2023 season. I figured we'd go back a bit to the anime content as it's been a while. We've been doing Dokkan content for the past like half a year, ever since the custom content and all the type of stuff for the free-to-play guides. And I don't really have anything to upload for that, so I just figured why not. This will be non-scripted, so I will probably be rambling on and probably stuttering. I'm not really gone and researched a bunch of this stuff, so it's kind of just off the top of my head and my thoughts throughout the the season and 3 months that I've been watching this stuff weekly. But yeah, we're gonna be doing a top 10 rather than the full tier list as I've done last year. I wasn't really a fan of that. It was just kind of experimental, and I figured this probably might work out better. It is easier to digest instead of just a full-on tier list. So yeah, we're gonna be doing the top number 10 right here. Is gonna be Akane from My Love Story with Yamada level 999. I really like the series. It is very wholesome and fun with just the development of the main two characters as well as the supporting cast, which I guess we'll talk with some. They're probably gonna be in here somewhere. But yeah, there's not really a lot to dive into specifically, but the relationship development is great, and it is overall just a simple story to enjoy and watch. There's great character development, great writing, and all that type of stuff. Akane herself, she's great. I just love her character, personality, and just the way she is. There isn't a whole lot for me to say. Do you know that not every character obviously will have a whole ass segment to them. Some of them are simpler than others, and it's just easier and simpler to just explain it in shorter words, if that makes sense. But yeah, she's great, she's fun. I gotta love her basically. So we'll move on straight to number 9, which is gonna be Detective Iwanome from Deadmau Deathplay, which has been my favorite seasonal of this season. I actually like it even more than Oshinoko, and it is mainly just because of the way it's written with the different type of storylines intertwined with each other. Spoilers, of course, for anything I'm going to be talking about here, so do keep that in mind. As I do like the clashing and intertwining stories, such as the detectives looking into Solitaire's shenanigans with his crimes, on top of the corpse god trying to uncover the mysteries of whether or not his world is the same as the current world, or if it's a different timeline, or what's going on here, because some of the things that he sees here are kind of reminiscent of what he has been already aware of in his previous world, and name drops from stuff from the other world. And then you also have the flaming bug on top of what Solitaire has connection with other characters. It is a lot of fun to watch and just very interesting and compelling. Similar stuff like Durara and all that kind of stuff, which is of course it is, because it has the same writer. And it is a blast to watch, obviously. And I do already have the first 3 volumes of the manga. I actually want to check it out and see. So Iwanome himself, I guess there's not really a whole lot to talk about with Iwanome, but he is just a fun character to watch and follow around. He could probably even have his own kind of anime. That's the great part about Narita's characters and stories, is that each kind of character could make their own story and have its own anime standalone. And he's honestly part of that. It's just fun to see, fun to watch his dynamic with the other detective, the ex-mafia member, I think it was. And just seeing the kind of things he's trying to, come up with. They're trying to uncover Solitaire's schemes and whatnot. And I guess next up will be yet another character from the same series, just Misaki. I do really like Misaki's development and growth. Or early on being this killer and I guess hitman, taking out Shinomiya. We don't really still know what the reason was or who the client is. And seeing that she early on had her parents killed by, I think it was a thief or something like that. And after that decides to kind of go on a dark path of just murdering all these scumbags or going through all these hits. And over time thinking that she can only really she's only targeted, bad people. So she's always had the thought of how would she feel if she kills somebody that she considers to be a good person. And when she realized that there's not really a difference, she deems herself as an awful person. She almost ends up committing suicide, but I guess decides not to because she couldn't really, ignore the last mission that she has, which I think it was, killing Shiniyama, or whatever his last name is. But then you see later on, she ends up getting this whole redemption arc as the series goes with, Shinomiya, or Shinoyama ends up, or Polka, let's just call him Polka, ends up forgiving her, and even though she still doesn't really forgive herself, and she kind of wants to be, I guess, punished in a way, as we see in that one shower scene. As you guys already know what I'm talking about. But yeah, overall, great character, great stuff and content around her. I guess some things could be a bit rushed here and there. I think, especially the past, the backstory kind of was glossed over a little bit. I guess maybe the manga could have done it a bit better, but overall, she's pretty good. I guess next up will be a series I do want to talk about on its own video, but we'll be talking about Nana Yamada from The Dangers of My Heart. Honestly, it is my favorite romance of the season. There's a lot of interesting subtleties and themes executed pretty well in the story. I have read the manga caught up, so I don't really want to talk too much into the manga content, because obviously whoever's watching this, you guys are talking about the anime specifically. But I do really enjoy how her relationship with Ichikawa develops over time, and just seeing how it gets progressed in a way that feels natural and genuine, and all this kind of tropes such as like the denseness or the cliches of something's gonna happen but it ends up being a misunderstanding. No, you can see that over time it is actually progressing slowly, and you see how we're getting these different relationships with Ichikawa and the other students as it gets more developed, and it kind of just feels natural that he slowly becomes part of their group, or he befriends them, such as Sekine or Moe, whatever, the Gyaru friend of hers. But yeah, overall she's great, and honestly one of the best couples of the season, or I guess one of the best relationships or dynamics of the season. I guess technically they're not a couple, but yeah. I guess next up will be another Akane, which is going to be the Oshinoko one. Of course, spoilers, because this is a massive reason why this is episode 5 of Oshinoko. I'm also a manga reader on this one too, but I am also rating this on top. I'm rating this specifically, from the anime perspective, so I'm trying to not, put my manga knowledge from this. But, her episode is honestly one of the strongest, seeing as how cancel culture can affect a lot of people, with how harsh it got for her just because she injured the face of that I forgot the name, but the one of the members of the dating show, and seeing how she almost even goes the dark path of committing suicide over it all, but having Aqua saving her from it, and over time developing and getting to just see how talented she is with acting, and perfectly, acting as I and all that kind of stuff. There is a lot more I would talk about, but I don't really want to talk about manga spoilers. But yeah, so she's gonna be here. I'm trying my best to not put manga judgment on this. Maybe some of these is obviously still kind of biased towards me reading the manga, but I am trying to see. But I mean, it doesn't matter. This is just for fun. It's just characters that I think they're still great. I guess the order isn't too much of a big deal. If she maybe we could do I guess maybe this kind of or something. I guess I would do it like this if I thought about it a bit more. Yeah, I guess we could do that just because we can make it more accurate in terms of the manga. But my point still stands of what I just said. I guess in terms of if we just talked specifically from just the anime, I guess I would put her there instead of 5 or 6. So next up will actually be Ichikawa himself. If we can pull him up right here, yeah. Same things I said about Anna applies to Ichikawa, but I think it's actually more in depth, as he starts off as this kind of edgy, has this kind of murderous personality that really put people off a lot with the first episode. But I did like the monologues and just his character, because I think the monologues are extremely important as giving him more flavor and personality to his character, as we see just his thoughts towards whatever happens, rather than just have this kind of weird blank slate insert protagonist. And also his story is one of the strongest in the series, just seeing the self-growth and kind of starting to accept and love himself over time as he grows to also fall in love with Anna, and just seeing how he grows out of the whole murderous personality stuff and starts to look more into the world and socialize, get more friends. It is honestly just great. Obviously, again, I'm not really going to go into manga territory here, but it's already in the anime. But again, really excited for season 2, just seeing what these two will develop into later on. And number 4 will also be another character from Oshinoko, which will be Kana, Arina from Oshinoko. Her story is actually one of the most tragic in the series. Seeing as how she's this child actress, and over time, when she grows older, people start to kind of throw her to the side, saying that she's lost her prime apparently, and she's tried her hardest to stay in the industry. But you see all these kind of different characters and directors only really in it for the money, while she's still passionate about it, as in that one Sweet Love adaptation of that manga. But you see how much she cares for Aqua, and gets very hurt when, for example, he ends up dating Akane, and the whole thing with Aqua always looking out for her in different ways, such as the whole peon thing, acting as peon just to coach them because he knows that she wouldn't probably listen to him. And she's just honestly a really fun character. Like, her personality, very strong, very fun, and her character arc is very well written. But also still more manga content, so I'm trying to hold back because, again, manga content, I guess maybe if that's clouding my judgment a bit, I guess I will lower her down to 5. Again, like I said, this tier list is kind of just on the spot. I'm just trying to I have a vague idea on what the characters would be, but not really in that order. So as I'm talking here, I guess I'll lower and higher, move characters higher up. Just depends on the kind of, I'm trying to look at these manga characters that I've read the manga of, and it'll only through the lens of the anime rather than just the manga, if that makes sense. But next character will be Aqua himself, actually. If this was the anime, if this was all including manga, he would easily be number 1. But if it's just the anime perspective, I would put him at 2. Aqua is one of, I guess, easily the strongest part of Ocean Echo, seeing him, lead the story and just getting to see his revenge story and how to kind of uncover his father, seeing why he did it and who he is. And honestly, his relationships from each and every one of the characters in Ocean Echo is all very in depth and has a lot of things to talk about. Probably make a video separate on Ocean Echo, I don't know when, but there is a lot of things to see. Like, you see his relationship with Akane, and the whole thing with dating her, and we'll see later on how things will go. I can't really talk much about it because the anime only just had it, more into that now. And you see his relationship with Kana and how he looks out for her. He's trying his best to see, make sure she succeeds, but at the same time, he is still also manipulating Akane, all for his own gains. So there is a little bit of moral questionable stuff here. His relationship with Ruby and his sibling dynamic, and how he doesn't want to see her end up as the same way as I am. I'm really summarizing it here, and I'm also underselling it. But you guys get the idea. We don't really make a long 3-hour video or anything like that for this thing. But yeah, that's basically the idea with Aqua. And this number 2 one is actually Ai's character. This is one of the characters in the series, obviously, where I don't really need to think about, is this the manga rank or the anime? This is the same thing. You guys already seen all the content already. First episode gave everything. Ai is one of the strongest things of Ocean Echo. Honestly, even if I rank this on manga, she's still my second favorite character in the series. Because it's just how much of a good character she is with the short amount of time she's been given. Just seeing how she is with the lies and the theme of just trying to find just how to love people, and she just wants to love somebody and be loved, and just seeing the story with her and how she got to be an idol just to be able to see if maybe even with a lie that could eventually be the truth by putting up this facade and kind of fake reality for people to, stands and all this type of stuff and obsess over. Maybe over time she could end up feeling the love that, she never had in her life. And we see later on, obviously, with, the twins that she ends up having, she definitely actually loved somebody, and that's definitely her children, obviously. And I do really like how her character takes on the the theme of idols, as it's not a whole black and white scenario. Obviously, the whole industry got her killed, but at the same time, it's that whole kind of being an idol that gave her the closure that she needs of just learning how to love and be loved, and just getting to finally be able to say those words to her children at her deathbed or whatever. But yeah, you get the idea right here. And number 1, who is number 1? So people are probably skipping all the way here to see who the number 1 is. So let's just troll them a bit. Let's troll them a little bit. I'll just let's take let's troll those people who are kind of just skipping right away. Yeah, let's put this. Whoever's watching, you know why I'm putting this. There is one person that already gets. I'm talking to you. You know who you are. Yeah, I'll just keep that for a few moments. But now let's actually put the real one right here. Solitaire from Dead Mount Deathplay. This man's a treat. He's like one of the most fun characters I've seen like this year. This man is what Isaiah would be if he was way more of a troll. And this man is just amazing. He's a character that literally does all he does with his crimes and just doing all this fucking weird shit just for the fun of it. He's a child in an adult's body. Like, he wants to find all the magic and supernatural elements by doing all these nuisances, to just kidnapping the prime minister and just getting him into a cafe and making him read manga. And it's just kind of wacky shit like that, where he just goes and ropes himself into all this shit, and then he just doesn't know what he's actually getting into. Like, for example, in the latest episode with the bodyguard of the shark fangirl, where he just kind of ropes himself into it and tries to, he thinks it is actually the corpse god, but then it ends up being the bodyguard. And he has all these, fucking spikes and all these, all these weapons that he didn't expect, and he almost gets himself killed and shit. But he's actually also really competent. I mean, he's literally done all the stuff with the blimps, and, he bought the information for the symbol, but he doesn't want to buy the information fully because he wants to figure it out himself. And, he's planning stuff. He's actually competent. He's not just a joke villain that can do nothing, but he brings the story perfectly. I love him. So he's basically the star of the show. But yeah, that's gonna conclude the top 10. Let's talk some honorable mentions. So I guess my first honorable mention will be Akane's friend, which is going to be Momoko. She's actually a really cool character. I just like her kind of comedic personality, and how she just really wants to get married ASAP, and just kind of puts down Akane jokingly sometimes when she's kind of down in the dumps, or just honestly fun to watch. I don't have the biggest amount to explain it, but yeah. And next one will actually be from Skip and Loafer, Mikagashira. I really like the vibe Skip and Loafer gives with the kind of natural progression, I would say, and less of the tropey kind of characters. And Skip and Loafer feels pretty realistic in the way it does its characters and whatnot, and a lot of the developments and just kind of the dynamics of the characters just feels genuine, honestly. There's no exaggeration or anything like that, all these kind of reactions. It's pretty grounded in reality. And I really like Mika's character, with just, as we see how initially she's kind of acting like a bitch to the main character. I don't know why I'm blanking on her name, but as we see, because she's into Sosuke Shima, and we see later on how she kind of wants to clown all that stuff, and she realizes early on that the people that she doesn't like, she's kind of doing the same thing as she's trying to chase the person that everyone wants, the Sosuke Shima, the popular guy, and how initially she wasn't really having the most appealing body to people, so she worked so hard to look appealing and come off as sociable, and it's just, honestly, it is a pretty good character arc for her. I don't want to go too much into it here. I don't want to ramble on too much, but great character overall. And then next one is actually the same show, which is going to be Sosuke Shima himself. I do really like his story of kind of deciding to find a place for himself, trying to find a place where he belongs, and he doesn't want to be stuck in that bubble of that one incident with the one actor that got in. I think it was a scandal or something. I don't know what it was, but she followed him in a karaoke thing, and there's something that happened. I also forgot her name, forgive me, but I do really like his character arc, and just seeing how he kind of ends up growing, and just we see his child actor days, and seeing that even though he's kind of this popular guy that everyone loves, he still has his own issues and flaws, and I really do like the way they tackle it. It honestly feels realistic in a way, and it's not just kind of tropey or cliche. And the next one will actually be Kana Ichikawa, which is the sister of Kyutaro. She's actually, I guess maybe she wouldn't be in the tier list because of the anime per se, maybe just kind of from the manga, but hey, it's whatever. But I do really like just kind of her relationship with Ana. You see it in the last few parts of the anime, but that kind of just gets a bit more, I guess, you see more of that kind of stuff. And she's overall just a fun character to watch. I do really like Kana. She's a great, like, big sister character. And I guess we'll finally finish it off with Eita Sasaki. He's like the kind of the wingman and for Yamada. And I really like him. He's cool. He likes to think with his heart, and that's just really pretty cool character, basically. He's out there watching for Yamada. He's trying to, I guess, get those two together with Akane and Yamada and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, like, not a lot for me to say about him, but he's still very cool. And I guess I'll conclude it. These guys, I guess, they get pushed over the side. But hey, that's gonna be the tier list right here. That is the top 10 with the 11 to 15. Let me know what you think. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. What is your type of characters from the season that you like the most? What is your favorite seasonal? Let me know in the comments if you're interested, and I'll be catching you in the next one.